Hello, welcome to Suffer City. My name is Jason here at Suffer City. Today we're talking about the sled push. Now there's a lot of ways to push the sled. A couple of ways I'll talk about. In fact, some of the ways I'll encourage you to push the sled will be dependent upon how much weight you've got on the sled. For instance, if you're just doing a traditional sled push, you've got a fairly light sled and you've got to push it a long way, a short way, whatever it is, but you want to get it done fast. I would encourage you to really get the arms extended, brace through that whole body, and then start driving through the legs. But notice one thing. Notice the positioning of my hands in relationship to these bars here. Now, I don't want to be pushing too high up on these sled bars. The reason for that is, well, physics. If I push a little too high, I start to create this downforce pressure on the sled. So not only then am I trying to push the sled that way, but I'm also using added weight because I'm pushing this sled down, creating pressure into the ground on which I'm pushing. So I want to make sure my hands are somewhere low enough, maybe middle of any type of a piping I may be putting my hands onto. And then again, notice my arms will stay extended, but I want to reach out, and that'll actually help give this sled a little bit of the lift I want to kind of bring that sled up instead of pushing it down, to kind of create a little bit more of a glide effect. Now, let's talk about in the event that I've got just an incredible amount of weight on this thing. Well, now I'm gonna have to bring a little bit more torque into the process. So I gotta bring more energy into the core. So I'm gonna find myself up close to this thing, really bringing my elbows into the body, pressurizing through the core, and then I'll just be using my legs to drive. Again, notice where my hands are at in relationship to the bars on which I'm pushing. So that's number two. Number three, well, let's imagine the sled just got heavier. Now these things can get really, really heavy. And in the case that they are almost impossibly heavy, I'm gonna have to kind of create lift on my own. So you'll see myself change my grip from a traditional push, kind of get my hands and arms underneath this sled so I can lift. Now this lift isn't happening from me lifting. Notice my hips and what my hips do to get this sled kind of lifted. I create a tilt through my core or tilt through my hips, which brings energy into my core, and it's my core now that's lifting this sled up. That's gonna allow my legs to really drive this sled forward. And that is the optimal technique you're gonna wanna use for anything like a high rocks event or other type of a sled push where that sled is just ungodly heavy. So these are some great techniques you could use to get your sled pushed. If you want to see us pull the sled, check out our other video on the sled pull. My name is Jason here at Suffer City. Until next time, be great.